Hi, welcome friends again to another episode of Unexpected Advice. I'm Esther Angel with Insightfully Curious, and today I am joined by my very good friend, Melissa Oldfield. I know, I get to have a very good friend. I have them, and they are very good. So Melissa is a fantastic human. I got to know while I was living here in Lancaster.
Aww.
She is the Chief Information Officer at Woodstream Corporation, and that is a very large manufacturer. They make brands that you have heard of and probably have bought in your life. But she also has this incredible pedigree of working at Dyson and working at Oshkosh. But that's not what we're going to talk about. What we're going to talk about today is Melissa's passion for fitness over 40 and really creating a way to make fitness a part of your life. So let's chat.
Sounds good.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me.
Yay!
You
I'm
are a good friend.
It's a lot of fun. So it was funny when we were talking about this and kind of figuring out I told you my idea for this podcast, and I was like, I think this is it, and how much we had in common, how excited you were about it. So maybe we just start with how did you get into this? How did you get into fitness? So, what was your journey? Maybe talk there, and then we'll talk about your advice of what you've learned through that journey.
Yeah. So I've always been active. I grew up in upstate New York in the mountains and on a lake. So you spend your whole day skiing, hiking, boating, kayaking, all the things athletic.
That's awesome.
So it was just a part of my childhood. It was a part of who I was. And I knew being active is good for the mind and the body, all those things.
And outdoors too. Like you were spending time outdoors then. It wasn't just active in a house, like running around like a crazy banshee.
No.
You were outside, like in the outdoors. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I did ski racing, and I have to be at the top of a ski mountain in a nylon suit in below 0 temperatures, snow, sleet.
I'm going to vote no on this, folks.
All the elements.
No. So, my experience of being in the outdoors I was like a mud baby, right? Like we grew up out in the country, like it was mud fights. It was not the exciting things. It was don't play with a cow patty. Like so it sounds amazing. So you really started with like the idea of moving your body is a core essential part of who you are.
Yeah. And I think when you're standing out in that kind of weather in a nylon suit, you build a lot of grit. I think that's where my ultimate
Yes.
grit has come from.
I think that, and this is all making sense now. All right. So you grew up in upstate New York.
Yep.
All right.
So a passion for athletics. I did the racing in high school. I did cheerleading as well. I was highly involved in dance. So I was constantly in motion.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, we're gonna side note. We're gonna table that, and we're gonna have that discussion later. Okay.
So it's always been important. And then as I got older, I wanted to maintain some level of fitness. So I've always been tied into it. I've always been doing something along the way.
Right.
But it wasn't until the last year where I really kicked my fitness up a significant notch. And I'm now seeing the benefits of what comes along with all the discipline and the engagement with the fitness. Because now I'm doing it on a regular basis.
Right. Okay, so tell me about what triggered that. Like, what triggered it? What was the moment? Because of saying, like, you know what? I want something. I'm doing it, but I want something more.
Yeah. So it started out really simple. I'm getting old.
Welcome to the club. I know my journey for working out was just like, I want to be able to move with my children and my grandchildren. Like, it was super base was my motivation.
It's a good motivation.
It's a good motivation. I mean, it's kept me motivated. Yeah. So what was it? What was moving, changing in you that you're like, yeah, I'm getting older. What does that mean for you?
I was constantly hurting. I tried to run a race and had a stress fracture in my hip.
Oh my gosh.
My hamstring was hurting. My arm would randomly start hurting. And so I thought, I'm not working out properly.
Okay.
I need somebody to sit with me, show me how to properly work out so that I can stop hurting and manage this as my age increases.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was interesting because in my first couple conversations with the trainer, he asked what I was eating. I'm like, don't worry, I'm a healthy eater.
Yes. Don't we all think that? How much helped you wear your little head?
Pat myself on the back.
I know what I'm doing. Didn't get this far.
So he taught me so much, and I don't hurt anymore. We're past that. But now, you often set a goal.
Right.
You execute on it.
Yeah.
And that's time to look at your goals and shift them. So now my goals have changed.
Okay.
And now I just want to be strong and tiny.
Hey, look at you. Well, you are. So you guys can't really see this from the camera, but you are good and tiny. Especially compared to me. I'm not a tiny person. I'm like, what I appreciate is when I see women who are like bulky women and they are like crazy fit, but it's fitness for like muscular building. Like there's, to your point, of different goals. Yep. So it's important to articulate that. Like, what are you really trying to accomplish? Because that matters.
It does matter. And I don't want to be a bodybuilder. I'm becoming vain. I just want to look good. And be strong.
There is nothing wrong with those two goals. Thank you very much. I want to look good and be strong. Yes, please.
So that's the path I started on. Okay. But what I didn't realize at the time, I just come off of a significant initiative with work, one that took a lot of time, effort, a lot of exhaustion, a lot of focus. I had to really power through some very tough, tense conflicts there. It was a really challenging time. And last fall, when I started all of this, I wasn't in the right mental space.
Okay.
Because I was not in the right mental space, I was not showing up for work with a good mind.
Wow.
And I was not showing up for my team with the right mental attitude.
Okay.
So what I've learned over the course of the last year is how the fitness really caused me to show up better for myself. I'm taking care of myself. And now I'm showing up as a better person, not only for my family, for myself, but also for work.
Wow. Talk to me about that. Like, how did you discover that? Like, what was that realization like?
It was impressive in the sense that I used to get comments, Melissa, we don't know which Melissa we're going to get today.
Oh, wow.
So, and I watched myself in the rear view mirror, and I thought about all the times I was really unkind or fell into blame culture or contributed to toxicity. But as I started working out, I started sleeping more. I started feeling better about myself. My body started to feel better.
Your body's working well, yes.
Now I'm walking in with a clear mind to see how I was behaving. And it was not the right behavior.
Yeah.
That my team is coming to me with problems. My organization is coming to me with problems. And I was not clearly laying out a plan for how we solve those problems.
Wow.
I was not being pragmatic in how we problem solve.
Okay.
So getting all the sleep and feeling better about myself, I could start to see that I was coming to work happier. And when I was happier, I led better.
Oh, man. That's like mic drop right there.
And if I'm not thinking clearly, I can't help my team to see how to think clearly.
Yes.
And I set the tone as a leader for my organization.
Right.
So when they see me acting a certain behavior, that's being a poor role model for them.
Right. Yeah.
They can't be happy in the workplace if I'm unhappy in the workplace.
Right. That's impactful. And I would say even for folks who aren't leaders, like, hey, I'm not leading a team. You're still showing up at work. You're still influencing the world around you.
Right. That's right.
How are you influencing it?
Right. Because we all work in teams today. We all have to work cross-functionally.
Right. Right. Excellent. Okay. So talk to me about the advice. So you went through this journey, you got to this place, you're happy with yourself, you set new goals. What's the pieces of advice that you really want to spread that message? Like, okay, folks, this is what you need to be thinking about. What's the things you've learned? What do you want to give?
Yeah. I think most importantly, we all go after motivation, and motivation is a wonderful thing, and you need that motivation to get started.
Yeah.
But motivation can be short-term.
Yep.
And motivation fades.
Yep.
And honestly, for me at 5 a.m., it's not always motivation that's causing me to get 1 foot out of the bed.
Right.
Instead, it's discipline.
Right.
Discipline and commitment are the key to making sure that it happens. And you think about that from a business perspective. When you have a goal, you have to build out a plan. Then you have to be disciplined enough to execute on the plan.
Right.
When you execute the plan, that's when you get results. It's the same with fitness.
Yeah.
You don't walk into a gym and randomly start picking up weights.
Well, you can, but you're not going to see that's not discipline. You're not going to see the results. Anybody will tell you that. Like anybody who's done it for a long time will be like,
Exactly. So you really have to set up that plan of what you're going to do and execute on it with commitment. Now that doesn't mean showing up every day and killing yourself every day.
Yeah.
Rest days are okay. Rest days actually help feed your body.
Yes.
And give the time for your body to recover.
Yeah.
You don't have to be all in. You just have to always be in.
That's it right there. You don't have to be all in. You have to always be in.
Yeah.
That's really solid.
And start small. It doesn't have to be hard workouts. What do you enjoy?
Yes.
I hate running. I hate running in every
We've
fiber
talked
of
about-
my being.
Yeah.
And if I have to run, I'm not going to do it.
Right. What's the thing you love? What do you think? What do you think you enjoy? Like Zumba or dance, and it doesn't have to be at the gym. That's the other thing. Fitness, like it can be all kinds of fitness. There's a gentleman that I worked with, and he plays soccer, like into his 60s, and he runs the soccer leagues. Like that cat is fit, right? So it's the things that you enjoy. I love that.
Yes.
The things that you enjoy, and be consistent.
Yeah.
Consistency is crucial. What else?
So priorities big.
Yeah.
And I think you have to have a very real conversation with yourself on how fitness and health fall into your priority level. It's so easy to want to get started with fitness, but then you start to think about, I have to cook dinner, I have to help my kids with homework, I have to run to the store, I have errands to do, I'm exhausted. Really have to think about, if I need to make a priority list, where does that fitness fall?
Right.
And for me, it's at the top.
Yeah.
Naturally, family's number one. If my daughter needs me, trumps everything.
Right.
But she doesn't need me all the time anymore. But fitness is right up there.
Yeah, it's hard.
I have to prioritize it. Now, if I look at my day and I say, okay, fitness is my number 2, how do I fit fitness into my day? For me, and this is different for everybody, 5 a.m.
Yeah.
That's the time that I'm going to do it. At 5 a.m., I have 2 choices. I can either sleep or I can do my workout.
Right.
Well, now because I work out, I'm exhausted by 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. So now that 5 o'clock isn't so hard.
It's not so hard. It really is a shift. It really is a shift. And again, you don't have to go like, if you're like me, like there's one 5 a.m. and one 5 o'clock in my day, and it's not in the a.m., it's in the p.m. But I gradually like moved it up to where I could get to that point where I can get my time in for what I want. And I have to say something that every time I would talk to you about this, and this is even before you were into this journey, you were just starting in the journey and we were kind of going at the same time, but like you've definitely taken it to this mental state and this philosophical state that's incredible. But we were both going, and I remember so many times you would just be so encouraging. You'd be so encouraging. And I think that's something key that like, you've got to finding someone who encourages you. Like, that's great. Good for you. That means a lot. Like you want to brag about it. That's something else. Like, it's okay to brag about it.
It is.
Let's brag about it. You look good, girl.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Well, thank you. You have to find your support community.
Yes, you have to find your support community. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. So now at 5 o'clock in the morning, I prioritize fitness over sleep. So I get at 5.
Yeah. Well, and you still prioritize sleep. You just go to bed earlier. Right. And that's how you shift your life. You shift the spaces in your life to find that time. Yeah. Yeah. So, I know that food is also important, and you were like me, we're foodies. We love to have a good time. We like to have a cocktail now and then. But how has working out this much really shifted your thinking about food?
So food is my love language.
So I didn't know this, and now I know this, and so now I'm solid. Like, I'm very glad we're going to.
The fastest way to my heart is through my stomach.
I love it.
Food is fuel.
Yeah.
And that's important. And I think often we pair fitness with diet, and diet sounds hard and it sounds exhausting.
Well, it's limiting too.
It sounds negative.
Yeah.
But food is actually really essential to performance. Throughout this journey, I didn't learn that food and performance is very tightly linked. Diet and performance is tightly linked.
Right.
Food is essentially your fuel.
Right.
So I've learned how to eat better. And this is what was most surprising. I was actually under eating. I thought I was eating healthy, but I wasn't, and I was under eating.
Right.
So the trainer immediately started on 2,000 calories a day and 200 grams of protein.
Yeah, I remember when you told me that, was like, oh, how do you do that?
Right. It's an enormous amount of food.
It's an enormous amount of protein. For those of you, like, if you think about 200 grams, that's a lot of chicken. That's a lot of fish. That's a lot of protein, or whatever protein you like. Vegetable protein. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one serving. I use 6 ounces, but that's 25 grams of protein. Now I'm trying to get to 200. You think about how much chicken I eat in a day. Which I eat a lot of chicken in a day.
She's like, I'm diversified. I had enough chicken in my life.
At first, when I started this, I'm like, I'm not going to make it to 200 grams of protein. I'm not going to make it to 2,000 calories. And he's like, keep at it, keep building.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
Now I eat boatloads, and I love it. Like, how wonderful
you do feel better.
A bunch of food.
Yeah.
And the unhealthy food isn't necessarily a bad thing either. He'll be like, go eat a burger, go eat a bowl of pasta.
Yeah.
Your body does need fats.
Yeah, it really does need fats. And I'm a firm believer in all things in moderation.
Yes.
All things in moderation. Yes, you can't count on pasta to give you the protein amount that you need in your diet, but it doesn't hurt to have some bread and with your meal. Like, that's not going to hurt anybody.
No. And actually, when I'm at 200 grams of protein, I'm also at 150 grams of carbs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, carbs are in everything, which I didn't learn until recently as well. So,
yes, they are. They are. They're on all the things. They are on other things. Yeah. And I think figuring out what those proteins are, how did that work for you? Like, it is when you see that daunting, like, oh my God, that looks huge. Like, it's the mountain. I'm looking at the mountain. How did you break that down into smaller steps?
Yeah. So first I learned what has protein in it.
Okay.
And, I mean,
like it.
Hummus, peanut butter.
Yep.
You should see the peanut butter I go through in my household.
Okay. Nice.
Looking for all these little things that add up. And I just added, how can I leverage food to fill out the day?
Right.
And it's, there's such wonderful things. There's protein in broccoli.
Yeah. There's a lot of green, the kale.
Spinach. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And vegetables don't have to taste terrible. Being a foodie, there's a lot of seasonings and things that you could do with vegetables to make them absolutely delicious. And roasting them.
Roasting them. Well, we do. I've also learned, like, we don't do a lot with the grill, but the broiler in your oven is like a grill. Like, basically, we do all kinds of chicken satay and stuff, and just stick that in that broiler, and you get a really great meal that tastes amazing. And I don't have to fire up a grill or anything. I'm just sticking it in the oven.
And it's easy. Yeah. Take out a baking sheet. Chicken on one side, or meat,
whatever it is.
Love with chicken like I am, and then seasonal vegetables on the other side.
Yes, pop it in. Or the one sheet meals, like the one pan meals. Yeah, I've done several of those. Like shrimp. The shrimp is another one. We use a lot of shrimp.
Gosh. Shrimp is a great way for protein.
It is. It's so tasty.
I eat shrimp cocktail throughout the day because it's just a quick win.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Protein.
Oh, that's a great idea. Oh man, I just actually bought some. I was at Costco, and they had the fresh caught Argentinian shrimp. Again, have you had those?
No.
They're they taste different. They're I got more red in them. They're rich. They're buttery almost. Oh my God, they're so good. They're really good. So get yourself some Argentinian shrimp. There you go. There's my tip. I have a whole lot of tips. That's one of my tips.
Perfect. So now that's all this protein, right? And I'm not eating exorbitant amounts. I am building muscle and I am losing weight, losing fat percentage. So it's amazing to see I'm eating so much more, and yet I'm looking so much better.
Right. And meeting your goals. Like, and that's the other thing, like figuring out what those things are to meet those goals. And some people, like, this is why I also think you had some help, you had some coaching. I think it's important for people to think about, like, talking to your doctor, talking to a nutritionist if you can, talking to, like, people that you know that are educated in this, educating yourself if you don't have the resources to hire someone. Okay, don't have the resources for that. How do you educate yourself? And being educated on it is critical.
Yeah, absolutely. That community.
Yeah, that community that you build. All right, awesome. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate it, like, sharing this advice, sharing your journey with us. And so thank you for coming on the show. And now I know that I can feed you and be better friends.
Can't wait for it.
Sweet. So one of the additive things that I want to do for this podcast is give you an opportunity to give advice in your area of expertise. You're a woman in technology. What is some advice that you have for other people and other women that are in the tech space?
So I think it's putting yourself out there.
Yes.
There's such opportunity that exists out there. I feel like I've been given a lot of wonderful opportunities along the way in my career. Naturally, my performance is there and it has to be there.
Yes, and you keep track of it. This is something I think that is really key for a high performer, is that you keep track of that performance. Like, you reflect on your performance and you are self-driven.
Self-awareness.
Yes.
And it's the desire to want to constantly improve, not just sit on the laurels or focus on the other. It's me. How do I make myself better? Right. So I walk into those situations and open-minded, and honestly, in self-awareness, that's what helps me put myself out there too, right? Because I'm making connections, I'm building a network by asking for advice, finding other women leaders that I can reach out to and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Number one, it helps me.
Right.
And number two, connection.
Yes.
And now I've got a network. Because I found along the way, as I've built these networks and gotten engaged in different groups, there's lots of women in technology groups that exist.
Yeah.
There's conferences that exist.
Oh, all over the
there's
place.
roles that exist. There's tons of opportunities. You just have to research them, get into them, learn them, and put yourself in those spaces. Apply for roles that
stretch you.
Right. And I mean, what's the worst thing I can say? No.
Yeah.
In any case, you still had the interview experience.
Yeah.
You put your name out here, and a lot of times it might be a no, but it's hey, maybe a future consideration, or maybe
I didn't know
role.
you were interested. I've had people say that, like, why didn't I get this promotion? I remember a woman told me this, and she had advanced in her career. She said, early on, I was really upset. I had all this high performance, and I didn't get this promotion, and I was so upset. And I marched right into my boss's office and said, "Why didn't you give me this promotion?" And he was dumbstruck. He said, "I had no idea you wanted it."
Yeah.
Because she said, I never told him. I just worked hard and thought people would notice. You can't just work hard. Yes, you have to work hard and and tell people what your aspirations and ask them for their advice on I need to get there.
Yes. How do I close the gap, and how do I grow into that role?
Right.
You're right. That happens so frequently.
Yeah.
And so I would even say too to other leaders, for your people on your team, ask them what their career looks like.
Right.
I think we sometimes become complacent and don't even ask the folks on our team, what's your next step? Or what's the step after your next step? Or where you're trying to angle so I can help you angle and help you maneuver.
You know, I think that there's so many leaders out there, and we're going to go on this for a long time, but there's so many leaders out there too that are insecure and they don't have that self-awareness or that self-confidence. And so they don't ask those questions because they're like, oh, you're going to take my job. So what if they take your job? You can't go on to the next thing if you don't have anybody to replace you. But if you have somebody that says, hey, I can take this next role and we're going to be fine because this person and this person can take my job and run with it and make it better than even I've got it. And you advance your career that way as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a win-win for everybody.
It really is.
I just had somebody walk to my office the other day and said, I'm really interested in this role. And it was a conversation where I said, look, I'm not a right fit right now, but let's take the steps to get you there.
Yes. And make that list and that plan. Again, make that plan. There's the mountain. I want to climb it. What are the steps I need to get? You can't just walk up the mountain. You need to prepare for it physically, mentally. You have to have the skills to do it, and you have to have the equipment. And sometimes it's like literally the certification or whatever it might be, but make that plan. Make a plan.
Right. So I think women tend to be timid and shy.
This is true.
Put yourself out there, ask for it.
This is true.
I always respect an individual that comes to me and is like, I think I could be a good fit for this. Here's the reasons why.
Yes. And comes to the reasons why. And I would say that is, for men and women. And I think too, we have a lot of young men that are coming up through the ranks, and they, especially with COVID, didn't have the opportunity to have the same experiences. So I think it's not just a male and female thing at this point in society, but it's also, did you have the opportunity to even ask those questions or learn how to ask those questions? So it's a solid advice for anyone.
Yeah.
Like, put yourself out there, be self-aware, ask for advice. Yeah, do those things. That's what's going to keep your career moving. And that's how you're going to continue to grow and learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Melissa.
Anytime.